How are you, viewers? My name is Adeyanju, and you're watching Future ABC Media online TV. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the hot news we have in the country called Nigeria. For people who needs to open their dictionary to check the meaning of odd means something that is very unusual, things that are unusual that are happening around us. So today, I'm going to be highlighting four different odd news to all the viewers who are watching me, nailing some of the very disastrous acts committed by Nigerians. And be very well assured that these are crimes that are committed all over the world. So I'm only using Nigeria today because I reside here in the country. I reside in Nigeria. So whichever news I'm going to be discussing with you today, just be very well assured that these are things that are happening around the global world. So they are not just things that are happening within the country called Nigeria. They happen in many other countries in the West Africa, many other countries within Africa. So these are things that are happening here in Nigeria. So today my first story is going to be an angry mob drag out man's manhood from the 15 years old girl's vagina after it got stuck. So I'm going to be reading this news to you. Just pay attention. It's going to be displaying on my page as I am reading. Many people were shocked when a 35 years old man was caught by residents of Adetoro in Lagos State after his manhood got stuck in a young girl's VJ. So let me know, you know. So an eyewitness who was present at the scene revealed that the man was caught inside the girl's apartment after her parents had gone out for their daily activities. Like I used to tell a lot of people, I can't remember the last time I opened down my door. Most times, whenever I'm inside my apartment where I live right now, I make sure I shut my door. It's only in Hollywood movies you watch things like the door being knocked and you will hear something like, come in, the door is open. So here in the country, nobody does that, or nobody should be doing that, because the days are darker, the world is more wicked these days. So you have to be very, very careful and pay attention to your security. Pay attention to your security. So it happens that an eyewitness who was present at the scene revealed that the man was caught inside the girl's apartment after her parents had gone out for their daily activities. He sneaked into the girl's apartment, located along 23 Adetoro Road in Lagos, and forcefully had carnal knowledge of her, but could not pull out his bola. Like they used to call it, he could not pull out his manhood after the whole incident. The girl cried out and called neighbors who came out in masses and tried to forcefully pull the man's bola, which is his manhood, out of the girl. After a successful pull-off from the young teenage, the girl was immediately rushed to the hospital while the angry mob descended on the man, gave him the thorough beating of his life, then sliced off his manhood. Jesus! Slice it off as punishment for his deed. The suspect cried and begged for mercy, but his plea were not accepted by this angry mob. He was brutally beaten, dragged all over the place before he was finally dealt with. Meanwhile, the girl, who at that time was still hospitalized, narrates her audio to her parents and to the police, while the doctor in charge confirmed a case of rape, which was supposed to be properly investigated. Reports added that the suspect finally gave up the ghost because of the huge amount of blood he lost due to the injury inflicted on him. The Nigerian police have always warned Nigerian youths of every community not to take laws into their hands, yet the angry mob, or the angry youth in this case, continue to give jungle justice to criminals and armed robbery suspects instead of handing over the criminal to the police. So my candid advice is this. See, rape is never good, and it shouldn't be encouraged in any state of the world or in any country that dwell, or any country or wherever human being dwells in this world. And in the case of what I just read to you now, when the Nigerian police said had given warnings, several warnings, severe warnings to many youth or mobs all around the world. Or majorly, let me be specific to the country called Nigeria, where youth have been warned severely not to put law into their hands. But unfortunately, it still happens. So it's like a two-edged sword. It's like two-way. So what the youth were doing was wrong, actually. But in the real sense of it, can you blame them? Do they really trust the police officers who are always in charge of all these cases? Because in most cases, we've seen police officers arrested or apprehend a criminal and they freed him at the end of the day. So most times people believe in the country where I live, especially here in Lagos, in the state where I reside, that it is often better when they quickly give jungle justice before the police come because they might be bribed at the end of the day. So not to waste your time, let's go to the second story. The second all story today is about a story of a lady who was caught red-handed while trying to dump a kid, a newborn baby. So the headline reads thus: Lady caught red-handed trying to dump baby. I've always said it to people. It is not by force you must give birth. And sometimes, like I said in one of my last videos, that people oftentimes don't plan to have babies. Most times, they just want to copulate. They just want to have intimacy, have physical intimacy. And in most cases, pregnancy comes up. So when this happens, so the question is, who should we blame? But before we start apportioning blame, let me read the story to you. Tension and commotion arise among the residents of Alalubosa GRA in Ibadan after a yet to be identified lady was captured and then dumping a newborn baby and attempted to flee with a japa. Jesus! Based on the report gathered by newsmen, the lady was caught in the act by some passerby plying the neighborhood. She began to display signs of mental illness immediately she was caught. Sometimes they happen in Nigeria. Maybe people have watched too much of foreign movies. The moment they are apprehended for a particular crime, you see them start displaying. Sometimes they begin to talk gibberish, which, many people in the church do. Apostle, we hear of this. Many people in the church does most often. The incident came to light after a social media user posted the video of how she was caught in the act by residents of that area on TikTok. So the person who posted the story actually posted it on TikTok. It could be seen in the video as the lady was sitting inside an automobile truck while the crowd gathered at the scene. There was confusion among the people at the scene, and they were not sure whether the lady was just putting up an act or she had actually or truly gone mad. The lady could be seen screaming and speaking gibberish. I said it, gibberish, skibaosha, in a bid to calm her down, some good Samaritan in the neighborhood poured her some water and gave her some to drink. So sometimes it's not good you give up your baby for adoption, or perhaps look for people who needed children, give it to them. Or in most cases, what I would have done in my own case, maybe because I'm a man, I'm not a woman anyway, but I would have expected any lady with common sense to make sure that they don't conceive. And even if they do, they can as well do, what they used to do to evacuate or whatever, rather than produce a human being, a full-grown human being, and want to dump them off like as if they are refuse. So this third story, because I don't want to waste time today, I just want to be quick in whatever odd news I'm giving you. And I know Nigerians love odd news. They love bad news. Not just Nigeria, it's everywhere in the world. Bad news sells most. So, I might add some sense or some bit of humor. It doesn't mean the stories were not true. I'm only just trying to probably make it seem like just mere conversation, or I'm giving you narratives, but they are true story. This third one that I'm about to give to you really, really surprised me. In the real sense, should anything surprise me anymore in this world? After 20-something years in media industry? Really? So, the headline is, Police student caught red-handed robbing Aboniki Bam on lecturer's VJ after raping her inside her office. Eléyìí ó gbẹnu tán. A full mouth. So, unfortunately, this guy happens to be. Anyway, Bayo Adeniyi, a student of the Federal Polytechnic in Ado Ekiti, was caught red-handed by his colleagues and some lecturers while he was forcefully having sex with a female lecturer with the name Mercy Williams right inside her office. The female lecturer raised an alarm. This one also raised an alarm. Because I think, pay attention to this second paragraph. The female lecturer raised an alarm after the suspect carried out the act and was using hot balm on her VJ, which made her cry loud and call for help. The incident brought reaction all over the campus, with the suspect being paraded in the school premises. I'm sure after he was being apprehended, he was paraded in the school premises just to disgrace him, but I don't think this guy gave a hoot. But the question is, the first story I said, the first off story, the girl had been raped. It was when the man got stuck. She raised an alarm. This one seems almost, it's not as if people even love to be raped these days. Well, I'm sorry before girls will come after me. Just reacting to the story, because why not raise alarm when it was about to happen? Why always raise alarm after the deed has happened? Just asking. I don't know. Maybe if you have your own opinion, you can put it at the comment section. I will really appreciate it and I will respond to you. So let me continue. The terrible incident took place on a Monday when most students were going about their school activities. The suspect busted into the lecturer's office, pretending as if he wanted to find out something from her. He then pulled out a locally made gun and compelled her to pull her clothes off. She reluctantly complied. He then raped her before using the diabolical balm on her VJ. The suspect, who confessed to the crime after he was caught and paraded at the staff quarter, told his colleagues and the school authorities that he wanted to pay back the woman for always failing him each time he takes her exams.
70 years old man.
Is that supposed to be an excuse? That's the excuse he could give. Perhaps he's one of the son of the politician, but it doesn't seem like, because politicians do not admit to their fault anywhere in the world, except the one that are caught red-handed in Europe and America. But even in Africa, the one that are caught, recorded, filmed,
Jesus!
even call witness like the alibi to come and witness it, they still deny and say it is not me that you see. So let me continue. He added that he has planned the incident for a long time and really wanted to pay her back in full coin. He finally said he was ready to face the full wrath of the law. The suspect, also tagged to be a notorious cultist, was said to have been disturbing students in the school campus. He was paraded within the school premises half naked by his colleagues before they handed him over to the police for interrogation. Look at the picture. There's the picture of the guy and that lady covering her face. That's the picture of the lecturer named Mercy Williams. So let me finish the last paragraph. The lecturer was immediately admitted at the school clinic for medical checkup due to the injury or wound she incurred because of the diabolical balm used on her by the student. So this rape incident. Only God knows what the statistics says now. But one thing I want to tell people is that wherever you are, whether at work, at office, or going to the market, be always cautious. The world is becoming more and more dangerous and more deadly. Different means of disastrous, different disastrous activities are going on. As I am doing this video, someone is being raped somewhere in the world. So it's always good when people try as much as possible to be very cautious of their environment, be very careful whenever they are at home, to be very careful whenever or whatever they are doing. So going to the last story of today, the last odd news I'm going to be revealing to you today. The story reads thus: the man who forced. This one really scared me. Really, no. This really shocked me. Though I'm not supposed to be shocked by anything, but I could. It just tells how sick a lot of people are in this world these days. How sick. I call them sickos. Because this headline alone is something else. The man who forced mother to have physical intimacy, let me not use the word sex, physical intimacy with his father while he watched before killing them, caught and beaten mercilessly. Are they supposed to even beat this one mercilessly, or they're just supposed to make sure it doesn't exist anymore? But anyway, let me read. Resident of Ekpiri in Sokara, located at Oyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, were out to make sure that a young man whose name was given as Idorein James was given the beatings of his life for killing his mother and father, at the same time just to inherit their brand new car. Brand new car. Poverty is not good though. When we tell people don't get these parents now, had they been they don't have any child, at this stage of their life, they could have still been living. Their life might not have been cut short. But if they don't have any child, they'll be crying around. They will have come up with all sorts of theories. Oh, it is my parent, this, it is that. But now they have children. Oh, they have a child. Because the story doesn't specify if they have other children. Specify only one Idorei James. I don't know, maybe my pronunciation was a bit wrong because I'm not from this south part of the country. I'm from the southwest. But from what I can pronounce here, Idorei James. You know, just because he wanted to inherit their car and probably inherit some of their properties, they commit this disastrous act. And I would have even expected if you want to steal their car and their properties, why do you need to probably ridicule them before you do that? To the extent that he compelled his mother to pull off her clothes in his presence and forced her to have physical intimacy with his dad before killing them. The young man the young man who is said to be a suspected criminal and has been terrorizing members of the community ran out of luck after he brutally killed his parents in cold blood, an attempt to run away with their brand new car. I've always said it. Anytime you see any child terrorizing a particular community, just know that that child is doomed. You can imagine the previous stories I read to you about a particular guy who was like a terrorist in the school, terrorizing the other students in the campus, and eventually he went to rape his lecturer. This one too had always been terrorizing the neighborhood, causing constituting nuisance and acting like a tout or something. And eventually he well, thank God he didn't do it to any other parents. Any be more alone. Thank God when he's about to carry out his disastrous act, he committed it on his parents, who actually should be responsible for every of his action because of his upbringing. I don't know whether his upbringing was right or wrong, but it's likely to be wrong anyway. So let me continue. According to a report that was given by concerned citizens of the community, the suspect on Monday attacked his parents when everybody had gone to work. He pinned them down at gunpoint and asked them to make their last wish before killing them. The boy's father, who could not say much, begged for mercy and asked his son to spare their lives, but he refused. The boy ordered his mother to pull off her clothes to engage in sex with his father in front of him before he takes his action. He collected the key to the brand new car and some money from them before he attempted to leave the house. A neighbor who heard and witnessed the incident raised an alarm. Immediately, the culprit was about to escape. The alarm drew the attention of Angry Mob as usual, who came out, then apprehended the suspects. So, it was too late as the young man had already killed his parents. He was brutally beaten and dragged all over the community, where he finally confessed and admitted to committing the crime. He told the angry mob that he wanted to inherit all his parents' property, which was his reason for the disastrous act in the first place. I think when we are all young, we all watch Idi Amin movies because I think it's beginning to dawn on me that anytime anything happens, when angry mob comes, the first thing is to drag the person alive around. Perhaps they must have gotten that concept from the Idi Amin movie that we all watched when we were young. You know, The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin, if I remember the title. I think I watched it in the 80s. I can't really remember. I don't the hold in the 80s. The 80s are just called like that. And because whenever angry mob comes, the first thing they do is they beat you, rush you, do all sort of things. People who are angry already, they vent their anger on you, they drag you around and they perhaps buy you. So let me finish. The suspect was so lucky to have been rescued by the Nigerian police detectives who prevented him from being bombed to death. This one was very lucky. So Nigerian police acted swiftly. Maybe it was just time and chance, like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 9:11. Time and chance, it just happens that maybe some detective were passing by. So they quickly rescued him from the inevitable that was about to happen to him because they would have killed him anyway. So this is all I have for you today. Sorry, like my sister that you're seeing in this picture, who is cooling off the tension. Here in the country, we are just witnessing bad goals from the government. You know, the government have been giving us uppercuts and throwing some punches. But by increasing the fuel pump price of petrol in the country, now you can see that my sister is trying to cool off using. So I only try to probably come here today just to give you some of the odd juicy news that will, they're not juicy news anyway. But they are news, after all, just to know what is happening in our community called Nigeria. And like I said from the beginning of my video, it happens like that in every part of the world, except we're lying to each other. So until I come your way next time, perhaps tomorrow, depending on my time, I'm going to be coming with other juicy news, other odd news. I'm going to be discussing odd news on this I'm supposed to create another channel for this, but I'm using my main YouTube channel to do this. But I'm going to be discussing odd news alongside when I come with my opinion on how our community is and what is happening within our community and how people are living among each other and the rules and regulations that guide us, that bind us. So until you see me next time, or until I come your way next time, stay cool, stay blessed, be very cautious. I've always said this, be very cautious, be pragmatic about your security, be security conscious, stay cool, and don't go out in the dark. Whenever you are at home, whether you live alone or you live with your family. And for husbands who like to travel and leave their wives and children at home at the mercy of no one, it is a very big risk. And if you are a wife and you have kids or you have people at home, caution them and always make sure your door is locked. Always. Get security measures because it is necessary. And if you live in a very rough area, even whether you live in an estate, make sure you get some security tools at home. Pepper spray wouldn't be an harmful thing. A taser wouldn't be an harmful thing. And if you are rich enough to probably pitch this idea to the police, maybe they could give you a license, get a gun if needed. It's good to be security conscious. It's good to be very, very careful and safe than to be sorry. So until I come your way next time, have a nice day and have a nice night and have a nice morning whenever you're watching me or wherever you're watching me, and stay cool. Bye for now.